Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. And today I just wanted to share what we have growing in our garden. It makes me so happy every time I come out here and I see all the hard work that we put into making all of our raised beds and putting the soil down and starting all the seeds from scratch. It just reminds you that no matter what the TV says, it's not all doom and gloom. There are things still growing, there's still good in the world, and every time I come outside I'm just reminded of that, you know? This is about a 20 by 20 space, and I have 5 raised beds in this space, and they're all 4 feet wide by 8 feet long, which I think I'm going to change for next year because it's a little bit too wide when you're reaching for the vegetables or whatever it is in the middle. It's a little hard on the back, but here we go. This whole bed here is onion. They're mostly red onion, and these I started back in February, and they're getting really big, and some of them you're actually starting to see, I don't know if you could see that pink color there by the soil. You could see the bulbs are starting to form, so that's very exciting. I also, to make the best use of the space, I interplanted some. These are Roma tomatoes. I have a couple, probably too close together, but you know what? We're trying to make the most of the space we have in these beds. In this bed, we planted things very, very close together, probably too close, but the good thing about that was that I even had, say these are cosmic purple carrots that I got from Baker Creek Seeds, and I even had a row. I already took these out a week or two ago. There was a row of radishes here, daikon radishes, and they were really planted close in here. And the good part about that, they didn't get very big, but the soil stayed so lush and dark because of all the foliage that while I planted them too close, some of the crops came out a little bit small, but it seems to be really good for the soil. And over here, this is a red cabbage. It's really, really, really beautiful. And I have them scarlet. This is a scarlet kale. Very, very pretty. We're gonna have to start eating these. I'm worried that the heat is gonna affect them, but I guess we'll see. And over here, these are just your regular orange carrot. And these took a while to germinate, but now these have really shot up and they look really good. Over here, we have some more, I believe these are more Roma tomatoes. I don't have enough cages for all of them, that's why some have cages and some don't. And I believe this side over here are beefsteak tomatoes, and I planted in here, these are all marigolds, which should help deter some of the pests that typically like to come and mess with the tomatoes, and they should look really pretty too. I also kind of jerry-rigged this little archway here. I basically just used this is the fencing that we have all around the perimeter of the garden, and I had about 30 feet left, so I wanted to have something like this to have plants grow up. And so I used this. This cost nothing because this was just stuff that I had lying around, so it might not be perfect, but I kind of like it. And hopefully when these carrots on this side are done, I want to put some pole beans in there so that they can climb up and grow, and that'll be really pretty to see that in front of the garden. In this bed here, we have a bunch of cilantro that looks very, very good. Hopefully, I'm hoping it doesn't go to seed just yet, and they'll grow a little bit longer because it's starting to get a lot warmer. And we also have a mix of some this is Siberian kale, and spinach did not do very well. This is going to seed, so I didn't do very well with the spinach. I'm going to try again in the fall, and hopefully the cool temperatures will let us get some more spinach. Here is some loose leaf red lettuce that is looking good. I think the heat is starting to get these, and I probably need to take crop all of these out. And next, in between here, I just planted these. They're just peppers. I think these are they're called lipstick peppers, and I think I got them from Johnny's. Still small, but this is something, peppers are something I really wanted. I had a lot of trouble with growing peppers last year, so hopefully they grow a little bit better this year. We'll see. And over here, this is potatoes, and they're going crazy right now, which is awesome. Now, a couple of weeks ago, it might be more than a couple of weeks, it might have been a month ago, we had this freak polar vortex that the potatoes were already out of the ground quite a bit, and I covered it with the row cover, but still a lot of the leaves started to wilt and die, and I was worried that they weren't going to grow back again, and I was kind of worried about that. But as you can see, they've grown back just fine. They're very resilient, these plants, the potatoes. And what I did, I just cut off all of the leaves that looked like they wilted and died, and it grew back really, really well. So we planted 3 rows of 5, so there's 15 seed potatoes we put in the ground here on this half of the bed, and I'm hoping we get quite a big haul of potatoes. Would be amazing. In this bed here, I'm very proud of these. This is a purple cauliflower that I got from Baker Creek, and this is the best one you can see so far. That little purple head of cauliflower coming in right there. It's beautiful, beautiful purple cauliflower. So we have purple cauliflower here. We've got a row of Swiss chard, which is getting eaten quite a bit by bugs, but it's still hanging in there, doing all right. And we got another row of purple cauliflower. Got some beets here. I think these are a mix. Some of them are golden beets, and I forget what the other ones are. And here we've got your broccoli, and you can see the broccoli is starting to show the crown in there. Very, Very, very nice. So that'll be exciting. These leaves are huge. I think the key this year has been, it's been the compost. We added so much compost into all of these beds, and I'm hoping that eventually, pretty soon, we see some really big heads of broccoli in the middle here. Right, now over here, down here, this is already starting to go to seed. These are mustard greens. I never tried these before, and they are very pungent and spicy. To be honest, I don't really like them very much, so I might not grow too many of them in the future, but maybe I will when we expand the garden on the other side of our property next year, because they look very pretty, except the ones that have gotten eaten. But this is a purple mustard. They really are very pungent aftertaste, very strong, but very pretty. We have some zucchini here. You can see the flowers there starting to come in. Hopefully they do all right. Good. The rest of this bed is kind of a hodgepodge because I put compost that we made from last year in here, and I don't think it was ready, or maybe it was, I don't know. But so many tomato seeds in the compost started growing, and we have a lot of volunteer tomatoes that I didn't intend to plant in here, so we're gonna have a lot of tomatoes. Now, behind me here is where if you saw some of our previous videos, we had a greenhouse that blew away in some very strong winds. So this area was all supposed to be covered with the greenhouse, and we lost quite a few plants, but it's okay. We started everything over again from seed, and things are doing pretty well here, except weeds are a big problem that I'm constantly working on. But here, let's show you what's growing in these 2 rows here. We got some squash here and a little row of cucumbers, doing pretty good. Don't mind the weeds. We've got these are hot peppers right here, intermixed with some regular bell peppers there. Got some random, these are just yellow Spanish onions here. These really started growing quite a bit in the last few weeks. And these guys right here, this is a garbanzo bean, chickpea bush. Never tried growing these before, but we eat so many chickpeas that we thought it would be worth a try to try and grow our own and get some fresh chickpeas. And we have a whole row all the way down this pathway, about 20 feet. And the same over here. We've got chickpeas starting at the end of the walkway all the way down. And we have a second row here that I might have planted these a little bit too close. This is also a garbanzo bean, but this is actually a black chickpea. I'll put up a picture of the seed. I got these from Baker Creek Seeds. I get a lot of my seeds from Baker Creek. I really love the seeds they have. Their inventory is awesome. But also their seeds, just everything germinates like incredibly high germination rate. All of these, this second row here of these chickpea seeds sprouted. And these, actually I should mention, these were from a site called Annie's. I think they're called Annie's Heirloom Seeds, and that's where I got these chickpeas. This is just your regular, you know, tan colored chickpea. Or these I got from Baker Creek, are the black chickpeas. And they're doing really well. So we'll see. I think they grow into kind of a bush. So we should have a row of big bushy chickpeas here. Here we got a row of sweet corn. all the way down. There's about 26 or 27 I counted. Every few days I see a few more that sprout up. But we have quite a bit of sweet corn. Never had luck with corn. Hopefully this year we get some big ears of corn from the garden. That would be amazing. Over here we have collard greens that I've learned would benefit from some netting. As you could see, the bugs like to eat these leaves. Some of them are doing okay, better than others, but a lot of them have gotten eaten. This is our best one. These are beautiful, beautiful big leaves. Over here, this is cabbage, green cabbage, that has been getting eaten a little bit as well. So that'll be a lesson for me next year to remember to keep these covered with some kind of insect netting so the bugs don't get those leaves so much. I have some more that purple cauliflower here growing, and a few more. This is just green broccoli here. And we also have some more tomatoes here. These tomatoes are your cherry tomatoes. I grew the least of these cherry tomatoes. I grew a lot more of the Romas because we like to eat those with our salsa, make salsa. Cherry tomatoes make so many tomatoes that we had so many last year that we didn't even get to eat. We couldn't keep up. Over here in this bed, actually, this raised bed, we made 2 raised beds here. They actually used to be a couch. I made them into a couch in our house, and then this is its like second or third life as reinvented as a raised bed. In order to save money for these beds on soil costs, which can be very expensive, what we did was we filled, this is about 2 feet high, and we filled maybe half of it or more with logs, twigs. We filled it with hay and wood chips to get that organic matter in the bottom. And then we only needed to put about 10 to 12 inches of soil on top, which saves a lot of money. But also over time, that's called hugelkultur. I think the Vikings invented that kind of farming, where they just had basically mounds of, it's kind of a raised bed, but it's a mound of sticks and all that organic matter on the bottom, and then the soil on top, like a mound, and that's what they grew their food on. So over time, that organic matter breaks down and it adds nutrients to the soil, which is good for the plants. And like I said, it also saves you money on soil, which I thought super cool. So that's what we did here. We probably filled it this much with organic matter, and then the top part is just the soil. Our neighbors gifted us 5 blueberry plants that they didn't want. Nothing better than a free plant, especially these were pretty mature, and they probably cost about $25, $26 at your Tractor Supply to get these in a container. So we got some free blueberries here, and some of them are starting to come in already, which is awesome. It'd be great for smoothies and oatmeal mixed in, anything. In this raised bed, we have some lemongrass growing here. Keep some of the mosquitoes away. Some nasturtiums here. There's some other flowers. I can't remember which kind they are. I think we mixed in some zinnias and cosmos. I don't know if that's what that is or not. I believe we have some dill and some basil that I think Lucy planted these very close together. But this is the purple basil. This is actually from a free, when you order from Baker Creek Seeds, you get a free, they always send you 1 free packet of seeds, and this was a free packet of basil, purple basil, very pretty. So that's what we have here, and some more lemongrass growing over here. So I guess this is going to be kind of our herb garden. I would like to plant a few more things. Maybe next year we'll grow some more herbs in there. But very happy with that. Now right here, this is on the other side of our property here. We planted 2 apple trees. This is a McIntosh right here. It's grown quite a bit this year. Gotten very tall. I think this is about, this is about 2.5 years old since we first planted it. And I think we're going to have to do some pruning on it. I'll have to look up at the end of the season probably. We'll prune it because it's getting very tall. But it's looking good. I'm hoping that we get some fruit on it this year. You know, this is one of those things, a lot of people like to have fruit right away, but if you get these plants small enough, it's going to take, 2 to 3 years to get that fruit, but once it comes in, you have that forever. You have that fruit coming forever, and I really like that. So this one here is a McIntosh, and over here, this is a Honeycrisp. Honeycrisp is my favorite kind of apple by far, and this was very small last year, but this year it's really grown. And like I said, I would love to see apples on this. Last year we had some trouble with bugs, like let's see, these little orange spots, some kind of like beetles or something is like getting to these leaves. I don't like that, so I made a mix with using a Dr. Bronner's soap with a recipe of that mixed with some little bit of cayenne pepper and water, and it's kept most of the leaves pretty healthy. So I guess it's working a little bit. And yeah, there you go. We got 2 apple trees here. And lastly, over here, we have a pair of blueberry bushes here. And then these are all strawberries that have really spread out and grown. You can see one hanging over the edge here. Looking good. Nothing better than a fresh strawberry straight out of the garden. And here, this is a raspberry plant that we thought had died, but this plant is super resilient and has grown back quite a bit. I don't know if we'll actually get, this is something we planted last year. I don't know if we'll get raspberries this year, but happy to know. It's still alive, doing well. And that's it for this video. That's our tiny little garden tour. I hope you enjoyed that. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. And in the comments, let me know what you're growing in your garden. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.